We've been entertaining you guys for 20 years. Well, today we're doing something very, very different. We're taking you all the way back to where it began. The very first episode of Four-Wheel Drive TV. Check it out and let us know in the comments below what you think.
So don't forget that.
Brutus, put him in.
I'll see you Monday. Good night.
Four-Wheel Drive TV is brought to you by EFS Suspension, Take Control with EFS, and Braun 4x4, tough waterproof winches. Welcome to the show. My name's Simon.
And I'm Jason.
And what a fantastic episode we've got for you.
We've got plenty of action, some education, and we check out heaps of great rigs as well.
First up though, we're off to Telveision State Forest to have a look at some of the awesome tracks down here in Victoria. A fantastic destination. Let's go to it.
Getting to Telveision is easy. Head north up the Hume Highway for about an hour, then take a right at Enos Road.
The Telveision, once again, is a fantastic location not far out of Melbourne. Be aware when you're out here though that there are a range of things to look out for. Of course there's logging in the area, so be aware of log trucks. Vegetation as well. Always protect the environment, keep off the roadside, only drive on gazetted, proper formed roads. Track closures as well, and always watch out for animals. Let's get into these tracks, have a look at some of the scenery.
Our first taste of four-wheel driving Telveision was on mountain track. This made for a nice warm-up track to get us going for the day. The first section of mountain track is pretty easy and we didn't even have to engage low range. But it wasn't too long before things changed. The track got much steeper, and even in low range, the 80 series got put through its paces. Look at how hard the suspension is having to work to keep forward momentum on the slippery, rocky slope. We had a ball driving this hill, and once we were at the top, we were off searching for another track. We found Cadell Track, which was moderately easy and is suitable for four-wheel drives with no to minimal modifications. Next was Gravel Pit Road, another easy, enjoyable track which any 4B can drive, but it was over pretty quick and we headed across Main Road and turned up the aptly named Flat Rock Track. This track had some great scenery and got progressively harder. The steep decline towards the end of the track was great fun, as well as challenging. After this, we were back on the main track and continued exploring Telveision.
We had great fun driving those tracks at Telveision, and you get to see more next week. But coming up next, it's time for something technical. Let's see how four-wheel drive shock absorbers are tested.
Here with Charlie from Carroll Springs. Charlie, what's this thing?
This here, Simon's a shock dynamometer. It'll basically oscillate this shock absorber at a given displacement and a given velocity, and print out a graph which will describe or detail the valve forces and a sine wave that will basically give us an idea of what the shock absorber is suited to and what application it will be used for.
So how do you set a shocker up in it?
Well, basically we've got a set of different collars and attachments that will suit a large variety of four-wheel drive car truck shock absorbers.
Yep.
They get mounted top and bottom and secured. Obviously we've got the load cell up here, which will give you our readout and our data back to our software.
Yes.
We've got the adjustable column here, which will give us our different lengths, variety of shock absorbers which vary to a great extent. We've got a infrared temperature gauge which we use at times to do time temperature graphs to compare different shock absorbers for how they're absorbing temperature and how they release their temperature.
Okay.
And that's about it. I mean, the setting up for it's pretty straightforward. Even the whole working of the dyno is very straightforward. It's the analysing the graph once it's been printed out.
So basically it's a very controlled way of testing a shocker without having to have it on a vehicle.
Yeah, it's a benchmark. I mean, we still like to have ride control. We don't, this isn't the be all and end all. This just gives us a very quantified result on a valve force. Then we do a bum on seat testing of the vehicle. So
Awesome. Well, let's see this thing in action.
no worries at all.
Most shock absorbers in Australia are designed and manufactured overseas and very rarely suit our applications. We need shock absorbers to perform in a large variety of environments at high temperatures with harsh elements. The Carroll Springs design engineers use the shock dyno to test and retest new shocks in an effort to fine-tune shims, piston orifices and foot valves within the shock. The end result of this testing is a highly tuned and specific shock absorber that is an integral part of a complete Australian suspension solution. Charlie from Carroll's is a nice bloke and he certainly knows his stuff. Next up, some real hardcore action. Let's get out to the Atico Winch Challenge. This segment is brought to you by Nava, fair dinkum lighting solutions for your four-wheel drive. Held every year, the Atico Winch Challenge is a highlight of the Victorian competition scene and never fails to provide plenty of fast and hard action.
The Atico has been running for since 1997 basically as a well-organised event. It started in 1995 as a club event for teams that were competing in the Rainforest Challenge in Malaysia, and it's grown from there to what it is now, where we have approximately 125 officials and generally about 40 teams. This year we've got 33 teams competing. It's an event by invitation only. We invite competitors that we see are competing in many events around Australia or overseas, so basically we're looking for the top teams in this event. What we have is a selection of special stages, which is a mixture of hill climbs, muddy sections, rock ledges, to I guess give a good variation of stages, and to test them out with their vehicle preparation, driver and co-driver working together well, and the recovery equipment.
It's a Suzuki Vitara with a Commodore V6 engine and Hilux running gear.
Coming up after the break, we go through some basic four-wheel drive equipment, we have some more action from the Atico, and we also catch up with the four-wheel drive club.
I'm always surprised by the never-ending rises in tyre prices. Don't get me wrong, a quality tyre is probably the most important investment you'll make in your four-wheel drive. Quality doesn't always have to be expensive.
Nankang tyres are relatively new to Australia, but they are certainly earning a reputation as a quality, tough, reliable and safe four-wheel drive tyre. Check it out for yourself. I guarantee that you will be impressed. Next time you need rubber, whether it be highway, all-terrain or mud terrain, take the Nankang Challenge and take your four-wheel drive experience further. When you have to winch, you need equipment that is safe, tough and reliable. How about a product that has been tested to the extreme in both the Outback and Alpine Challenges, two of Australia's harshest off-road events? Well, that is what you get with a Braun 4x4 self-recovery electric winch. The Braun 4x4 winches will pull longer and harder than other well-known winches and are guaranteed to be rust, corrosion and waterproof. Phone 03 9798 8522 for a tough, reliable winch from Braun 4x4. There's more to suspension than just talking about it, there's knowing what it is and how it works. That's why Carroll Springs don't try to sell bull bars or roof racks, they sell suspension. With in-house specialist factory, workshop, technical advisors and fitters, Carroll Springs have the facilities you need for customised or new suspensions, spring resets and repairs. With products like EFS and Enforcer, Carroll Springs will get your vehicle driving, riding and handling right. Carroll Springs are four-wheel drive suspension specialists.
Whether your 4B is mild to extreme, you will get more from it when you visit Extreme 4x4 for accessories and mechanicals. Extreme 4x4 have a fully stocked showroom with the widest range of off-road products, and their service and mechanical team are second to none, with the expert know-how and facilities to turn your four-wheel drive into an off-road weapon. When you need more performance from your four-wheel drive, get to Extreme 4x4 on the corner of Anzac Avenue and Tradelink Road in Browns Plains, or call 3809 0911 for expert advice.
Welcome back from the break. Now, a lot of people ask us what sort of basic equipment you should be carrying in your vehicles. Let's go and have a look. Now, before you head off-road, there's a couple of safety issues, some things that you should be thinking about. What we recommend here, first of all, a first aid kit, a good set of leather gloves, and a fire extinguisher. Every car should have that. Jason, what else have you got for us?
Well, there's some other basics you should be taking. A general toolkit with things like screwdrivers, spanners, pliers, a good socket set, and some general lighting.
Thanks, Jace. Now, while that sort of stuff is the basics, there's a whole range of things you can carry. Whatever you carry, think about what you need to take with you. Don't be loading your vehicle up with stuff you don't need. Now, we're going to be showing you over the show how to use some of this stuff and what sort of stuff you should be carrying. Let's go and have a closer look at some recovery equipment though, the basics of what you're going to need for recovery.
Whatever your preference, long handle or short handle, a spade is a great thing to have when you're off-road. The short handle is best suited for working in tight spots and clearing out muck underneath your vehicle. And the long handle is ideal for hard to reach spots, digging into deep ruts, and also for people that just don't want to get their feet dirty when they're digging.
Last basic item, first basic recovery gear, a snatch strap. Rated, manufacturer's name on there, and a couple of rated bow shackles. D-shackles, bow shackles, as long as they're rated. Very important. Now, snatch straps are great things, and we'll be showing you how to use them properly later on in the show. One thing you've got to know though, you need another vehicle to make the snatch strap work properly. And that's something we recommend. Don't go out there alone. As much as possible, whenever possible, travel with a friend, travel with another vehicle. See you out there on the tracks.
And now it's time for some more action from the Atico.
This segment is brought to you by EFS Suspension. Take control in any situation with EFS Suspension. Chip and Huddy from Team Narva are always a delight to watch and put on a good show for the crowd. They're a fantastically matched team and really show how good power and good driving skills make a perfect match for a successful combination. These guys really know what they're doing and certainly place well in a lot of events. Bogged hard, it's straight onto the winch cable for these guys. But it's bogged a little bit too hard, the winch cable actually let go 3 times. Here's a one-wheel wheel stand, not seen very often. But it worked for these guys and they got out and kept going. Adam Bird, one of the top competitors in Australia, stuck here, bit of mud on his face, but he's a happy fella.
We had a pretty good day yesterday. We won quite a few of the stages that gave us a few points ahead of the rest for the Sunday, but we're probably lucky we have had the
the points advantage, because today we're not doing too well. We're doing all right, but the main thing is to finish. So we'll suck it and see what happens.
Young Bitters here is never shy of a challenge and throws his highly modified 45 at the tracks. Don't drive it home like this.
Yeah, it's a Land Cruiser. It's a bit of a pile of junk, but it's got a good engine in it. The 383 Chev.
And how you been going?
I was going all right till I started breaking stuff. Broken freewheeling hubs, broken CV joints. We've been doing a bit of tree loving with panels as well.
Does that mean you're out of it?
No, we're still going. Yeah, carry a lot of spares. You run a big Chev, you've got to have spare parts.
Victorians love their mud, and the Atico Winch Challenge is never short of it, putting on a good show for these drivers, certainly putting them to the test. Hills are steep and hard in these tracks, and the drivers have to work just as hard as the navigators. It's amazing though that some competitors, like Andrew Cassar here from On Track, can actually get these vehicles to the top without any winching at all. Pretty hard on the rev limiter, but he does get it there. We're seeing more and more of these highly modified vehicles down here in Victoria, chopped off with custom trays, awesome looking and certainly capable machines. Another good drive to the top there. Nice effort to try and get out of the bog hole there. Spectators weren't too impressed, but that bog hole got worse and worse, and that there was the last car to drive it. Didn't quite finish the hill though, but a damn good effort. Adam Bird here again in top form shows why he's one of the top drivers in the country, taking out first place at the 2004 Atico Winch Challenge. Congratulations Birdie on winning the Atico 2004, fantastic effort. Next up, Miranda was up in New South Wales speaking to a club. Let's go and have a look at the Oz Rock Crawlers.
Okay, so Grant, you're also in a club. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Oz Rock Crawler Club. Yeah, we're a club that come from many other clubs, and we've formed. We're a fairly new club. We're only 12 months old now, and this is our first event we're running. And when we get some more members, because we're only about 25-30 members at the moment, we're going to run a big event as well, similar to Woodpecker, and we get on very well with the people from On All Fours. But yeah, we've got many members that are a member of our club, but also members of others as well. Mainly because we've got some big trucks in there.
So when do you guys meet and where do you meet?
Yeah, we meet every second Tuesday at Bankstown Civic Centre, and that starts at around about 7 o'clock for the committee meeting and 8 o'clock for the general meeting. It's very light, very quick for the formal stuff, and then everybody has a great get together and a chat, and there's plenty of food at the end of it and drink, and it's a cheap club to join, it really is. We only charge $50 to join, so that's cheap.
Gee, that's great. And you do weekend events?
Many weekend events, down at Appin and out at Lithgow, and we even do some touring events as well. So we've got the big trucks, so we go away and have a bit of a scratch around. A lot of the smaller guys come with us as well to see what we can do. And then we have family orientated ones. So we're doing a long weekend shortly, and that's just a mystery tour, and we don't know where it's going to end up, but we'll just all have a good time.
Sounds great. So if people want to get in contact with you or the club, what do they do?
The easiest way is on the website, www.ozrockcrawlers.com, no AU. Or they can send me an email, which is just simple, president@ozrockcrawlers.com. Or if they're really desperate and they can't find it, then give me a call on 02 91 53 8500.
Coming up after the break, we've got viewers' rigs, we'll learn how to snatch a stranded vehicle, and lots more. Make sure you stick around.
Narva products are tough, reliable and practical. That's why internationally successful four-wheel drive competitors like Trent Lean, Steve Hudson and Steve Takema use them to the extreme in some of the world's toughest off-road events, including the Malaysian Rainforest Challenge, the New Zealand Winch Challenge and the Outback Challenge. Whether it's spot or driving lights, work lamps or even ADR approved HID kits, Narva have a fair income lighting solution for you. Find out more at narva.com.au or phone 1800 113 443. Four-wheel drive courses are just for beginners, right? Wrong. PNL Four-Wheel Driving also caters for intermediate, corporate and instructor levels. All courses are conducted in safe and controlled surroundings and run by fully qualified trainers.
I'd recommend the course to anyone. Great trainers, affordable and fun, but best of all, plenty of real four-wheel driving.
Whatever your skill level, a P&L course will give you the knowledge and experience to four-wheel drive with confidence. Call 03 9569 9348 for safe, practical and nationally accredited driver training. Lacking communication? Lacking navigation? Or just need to stay connected? Pam and John at Time Plus Communications have the products you need. With a complete range of CB, UHF and HF radios, navigation software, GPSs, roof consoles, antennas and scanners. Conveniently located at 49 Sydney Road, Brunswick, their friendly and knowledgeable staff will happily keep you connected. Remember, Time Plus Communications for the right connection.
Back with different view, without a change of pace, always below the waves. You always call us back with different views. Starting from the sun, starting is everyone. Starting from the sun.
Now it's time to go and have a look at one of your rigs. Your Rigs is presented by the Stay Cool with ICOM competition. For your chance to win a Waco fridge, visit icom.net.au or your nearest ICOM stockist.
Well, we're here today talking to Luke about his Suzuki Sierra. Luke, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, not too bad, mate.
That's good. Well, your truck's a bit of a beast. It's obviously got lots of mods done to it. What can you tell us about what's been done to it?
There's 2.5 inch lift on the springs, there's further 2 inches on the body, and the suspension mounts have been dropped down a couple of inches just for the extra clearance and wheel travel.
Set of 31s on here?
Yeah, 31s. They've seen better days at the moment, but hopefully I have some decent ones coming on soon.
If you do a lot of modifications on this truck yourself?
Yeah, I've done a lot of the modifications on it myself, but I've actually had a lot of help from Joe at 4Play Off-Road. And we've got the diffs in there too. They're locked both ends, and they got the 5:11 ratios in them.
Awesome.
Which, Joe helped me with.
And you've also got a nice 4-point cage in the back with cargo barrier?
Yep, that's going to save me from any flying astray shackles that may let go at any stage, and the odd rollover here and there. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. And what are the future plans for this?
Yeah, just pretty much tyres. I want to finish off the roll bar and make it all the way through the dash.
Okay, mate. Well, thanks very much for talking to us.
No
really
worries,
appreciate it. Next up is the first in our series of recovery segments. Let's go check out how to snatch a stranded vehicle.
Unfortunately, the bog hole's not deep enough to get Jason stuck, but it'll do for a demonstration. Now, let's have a look at what we've got to do to get this vehicle unstuck, if it was stuck. Safe recovery with a snatch strap. Let's get into it. First thing with any recovery is to have somebody in charge and giving directions. Now we've got Mikkel up here guiding Miranda back into place. It's very important that we line the vehicles up as best as possible. The best way for Jace to get out of this is forward, so Miranda's obviously reversing back, getting into position. Straight line pull will be the best way to go. Let's go and have a look how we attach a snatch strap and how a snatch strap actually works. For the tow vehicle, we're going to use a rated recovery bow shackle through the eye of the snatch strap and connect that to a rated recovery point on the back of the vehicle. Just a quick tip when you're using these bow shackles, do them all the way up, but don't do them up firmly. Turn them back at least half a turn. When you're using straps and using recoveries on bow shackles, the tension can actually cause it to lock up and tighten up, and you'll have trouble getting it undone. Quarter turn undone, she'll always come out easily, and that's not going to rattle out. Now as we lay the strap out, we make sure that there are no twists or knots in it. Find the end. Now we're going for a rated recovery point here, one of these hooks. Now this is securely bolted to the chassis of Jason's vehicle, so we know it's a safe recovery point to use. Now, once the strap is connected to both vehicles, this is what we call a live strap. I'm not going to step over that now. I've got to go back around the vehicles before we can recover these vehicles. Let's have a look at it. Now, snatch strap is basically a big elastic band. Basically it uses stored kinetic energy, once it's loaded up with the pulling vehicle, to help pull Jason's vehicle out of the bog. Now, what we do is we leave a bit of slack in it. Miranda gently drives off, doesn't need a huge amount of acceleration. As the tension's taken up in the strap will stretch. Once it gets to its capacity, that will then actually add extra force into the strap to actually pull Jason's vehicle clear. A fantastic way of very gently putting a lot of force into another vehicle to get it out of a bog. Let's have a look at that in practice now.
Ready, live.
Ready.
With everyone clear and Meikle giving directions, Miranda gently drives off to take up the slack and pull Jason out. Safe recovery is a massively important issue. If you're not sure about anything though, please contact Phil and Nari from P&L. They run some fantastic courses. Next up, we head out to Brawn 4x4 down in Dandenong, Victoria. We speak with Colin Pond, the owner there. He shows us how he puts together some of his fantastic waterproof winches.
I'm now going to take you through the construction of a Brawn 4x4 winch. We start out with the housing. The housing's sent out, sandblasted and nickel plated to give it corrosion-proof finish. Internally, we coat the windings with urethane to prevent any moisture ingress into those. The pole shoes that hold the field windings in place are also corrosion-proofed by nickel plating. Then the brush assembly is fitted. It's fitted using these screws here, which also act as an earth. To give us the best earth possible, we screw these down onto the nickel plating, and then they're silicone sealed afterwards. All of these points here have also been silicone sealed underneath, and when the housing's fitted to the end plate and its end cap, it's sealed with silicone. The idea of this is to keep water out, which means your winch is going to last a lot longer and a lot less maintenance. Once the motor has been assembled to its end plate, it goes through a testing procedure which runs it up under no load, both in the forward and reverse direction, just to make sure that everything sounds fine from there. We then take the gearbox, which is pre-assembled, fit it with the cable drum, which has O-ring seals and waterproof grease on either end, and then the winch is ready for the motor housing to be assembled. The drive shaft is aligned up with the adapter internally here, and cap screws are put in place to tie the end plate to the tie bars. Once all that's been done, the winch is then run and tested on the bench in engaged and disengaged, so free spool and winching in forward and reverse. At this point we look for any noise, any vibration and so on to ensure the winch is operating properly. Once the winch has gone through its final testing, its stickers are applied and a clear urethane is put over the complete outside of the motor to seal up any points that we can't do with silicone. It's then packaged up with its control box, its hand controller, mounting brackets, roller fair lead and bolts ready for customer to use.
You get to see some of those winches put to the test later in the series, but now Simon catches up with a legend in the industry, Nick Manell from Manell Motors in New South Wales.
This segment is brought to you by Brawn 4x4. Tough, reliable, waterproof winches. Nick, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here.
G'day, how are you?
Very well. Now you're here at Crawlacano. I hear you're the major sponsor for this event.
Yes, we are. We got behind the event to see, standard cars and the more family-based cars, the cars that are driven on the road every day, to get them out there and get them having a go without destroying things and without being a big dollar part of the industry.
Obviously a fantastic thing for you for exposure, but just a great thing to support the clubs and to support the industry. It's just congratulations, well done, and thank you for that, obviously. Yep. Now your vehicle here, an absolute gun machine, brand new. What events?
It's only done the Outback Challenge so far because it hasn't been on the road that long, so yeah.
And went well?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had four top 10 finishes and came 21st overall. Made a few mistakes out there, but we hadn't been out there before, so you learn, and yeah, it was great fun. So.
Outback's always a learning event.
Yeah.
Now, what event's coming up next for you?
The next one we're going in is Willow Glen, so yeah.
That'll be fun. Hopefully we'll be there to cover that.
Yep.
Now the vehicle itself, what sort of modifications have you done to it?
It was a wagon. We've shortened it down to an extra cab ute for a bit of room inside for storage capacity. Your normal sort of air lockers, diff ratios, our 5-inch megalift suspension kit. Western Diesel have done a turbo and intercooler for performance mods with a Light Force HID lights and XGT lights. Internal roll cage and all the stuff for safety, but still road registered and legal. So.
And your business, what sort of things are you doing?
All that sort of stuff, yeah. Mainly cars that are driven on the road every day, and mainly to, if we can't keep it legal and keep it safe, we don't do it.
All right, a quick plug. What's your phone number?
02 9980 8855.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you. Top weekend.
Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to tune in next week.
Also check out our website. There may even be some prizes on offer.
See you next time.
Tread lightly. Keep it safe. Play hard.
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter. There can't be two Spider-Men. Let's take them both in.